Hello and welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc.
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
No.
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess your conclusion was a dud.
Not yet, it wasn't.
Too bad.
This case hasn't been decided just yet.
Oh?
You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto?
Nope. Huh?
No, of course not. There's no way I'd give up that easy.
That's all well and good, but how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way? Junko absolutely died. Mukuro absolutely died.
Yeah, I don't think we ever met Junko. I think we only ever met Mukuro.
Then both of them are dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
Huh? The opposite direction?
Let's assume Junko is still alive. If so, how could she have survived?
How could Junko have survived? I checked her. She was dead, I'm sure of it. Still, if she were alive somehow, could it be that Junko's not the one that died? It wasn't Junko, but someone else entirely? Maybe she used some sort of trick. Okay, which... Oh, it's one of the hangman's ones. Ugh. Replaced? Yeah, I think the word's replaced. Or replace. Something along those lines. Needs an A. Yeah, needs an A. Damn it. Gotcha. Needs an E. And a nice, shiny... Look, I don't care which of you D's I get. Yeah.
Now I understand.
So yeah, Junko was replaced with a doppelganger.
That's it. What if she switched places with someone else?
Like Mukuro.
Switched places?
That's right. Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her place. Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba.
Then that would make it Mukuro's corpse that showed up later.
Which is why the body's height and weight and everything match Mukuro's profile, right?
I don't know anything about this switching places thing, but... that had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right?
Yeah, you're saying they switched? When could they even have done that?
Right smack at the beginning, it would have to be. I mean, unless they were identical
Right when
twins.
she was about to die? Like she used some kind of ninja replacement technique?
Good point. There's just no way they could have switched like that. So maybe the whole idea is wrong.
Nope. There has to be some way. We need to figure out how to explain that they could have switched. Right at the beginning.
I got
It's
it!
the only logical solution.
The two of them may have switched places from the very beginning.
What? From the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, from the moment we first met.
Because none of us
If
had ever met
that's
her
when they
before. Or
switched.
at least none of us remembered meeting her before.
Then they wouldn't have had to switch at the moment of death, right? After all, the one we saw at that point would have already been Mukuro.
Hold on. So, you're saying the Junko we first met was actually Mukuro all along?
Yup.
Then we'd already met her?
I had like a normal conversation with her.
When we first met, none of us knew who anyone else was.
Let's face it, she could have got all kinds of details completely wrong and none of us would have known the difference.
So Mukuro could have simply told us her name was Junko, and we never would have known the difference. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
Wait, but Mukuro Mukuro had a tattoo on the back of her hand, right?
You can cover that with makeup easy.
Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
She could have hidden it with foundation or something like that.
There you go.
If she did, it likely melted away in the explosion, exposing the tattoo after the body was extinguished. Plus, there were the fake nails found on the hands of Mukuro's body.
Which, as I said, didn't seem very soldiery.
They were the same fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
But if she really did use foundation...
Correct. Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro. So I'm glad nobody noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto. But too bad for you, Monokuma. You can't deny it anymore.
Haha.
Wait, so this whole thing was a setup from the very beginning?
Of course it
If
was.
that's true, it was quite an elaborate plan to be sure. Making it look like Mukuro was Junko.
I'm assuming that means Mukuro didn't know she was going to die to prove home the point.
The reason such an elaborate plan was possible is because the two of them were working together.
So Mukuro, the ultimate despair, teamed up with someone like her. In other words, it would be fair to say that Junko herself was also the ultimate despair.
What's wrong? Lost the will to fight back?
I think he's just afraid.
I think he's offline because I suspect now that we've figured it out, she's coming down to see us.
Afraid?
No?
What's that mean, afraid?
Oh boy.
Fear is only possible where hope is possible. I only have despair, so fear is an alien concept to me.
That's not how that works.
Then why haven't you been saying anything?
Because it's a bunch of nonsense. Junko's my secret identity? As if.
Then why did you try and protect Junko's real identity?
I tried to protect her identity?
You didn't let me watch the whole DVD.
When did I do that?
He still refuses to admit it, but he can try and deceive us all he wants, it doesn't matter. Because I've already figured it out. Not just once, but twice. First time was during our latest investigation. It's that interview DVD. You did not let me see the whole thing.
I got it! While I was in the AV room, watching the DVD of our interviews with the headmaster,
It wasn't just the monitor, the DVD player itself had turned off, which meant the DVD wasn't playing anymore. What the heck just happened? Oopsie, looks like it broke. Out of service. So it just happened to break now? Now then, when doesn't matter. Failure can strike anywhere at any time. That's what failure is, right?
you made sure I couldn't finish watching the video. And the reason you did that is because you didn't want me to see the real Junko, did you?
Oh, yeah! If everyone was in that video, of course Junko would have had to show up!
And if Makoto saw the real Junko, it would have been totally obvious that the Junko we met was an imposter.
Yep.
That whole power outage thing was just a fluke!
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't a fluke. The mastermind orchestrated the power outage. And that's not the only time they tried to hide Junko's identity. They tried to cover up one other piece of evidence, and I'm going to reveal that. It's the photo. It's obviously the group photos. Oh god, another one of these.
What do you want? What do you want? Are you sure about this? You're getting all riled up! That's impossible!
That was shockingly easy.
That's impossible!
This should prove it.
Tried it with group photos. I pointed it out, didn't I? Junko's face was covered in every
The
single one.
video wasn't the only thing you tried to cover up. You did the same thing with this group photo.
Oh.
I noticed it just a little while ago, when we were all comparing the photos we'd gotten. In all the photos, there's a certain similarity, an unusual circumstance.
What's so unusual about them?
Come to all these pictures. As I say, covered by water. Back to the camera. Back to the camera. Covered by an arm. Junko's face. Why do I keep pronouncing it Junko?
Junko's face. The one thing common to every single photo is that you can't see her face. It's hard to believe her face would just happen to be hidden in every single picture, don't you think? And on top of that, in this photo, you can see that Mukuro is clearly visible. So in other words, at that point, the two of them hadn't switched yet. With all that in mind, there's no doubt that the girl whose face is hidden here is the real Junko. Which is why you had to have pictures that didn't show her face.
Which presumably means there's something
Because
about
if
her
we could
that...
have seen her face, then it would have clearly revealed that the Junko in the pictures wasn't the Junko that we knew.
Xanadu!
Seriously?
I
Xanadu?
believe everything Makoto said is true. Junko and Mukuro switched places before we met either of them.
What's the betting Junko's scarred or something like that? You know, she's got something distinctive about her face.
So she killed Mukuro, who had taken her place, making it look like she'd died. And the real Junko is still alive.
And she's the one behind this whole murderous situation. This killing game.
I'd quibble how the hell she managed to achieve
She's
all
the
this.
true mastermind and the ultimate despair.
Xanadu times 2!
With this, the identity and the crimes of the mastermind have been exposed.
Yep.
No, wait, hold on!
Gotcha.
Don't bother trying to deny it. There's no more room for debate. You don't have anywhere left to run. I'll prove everything, right now.
Oh, great. We're going to have to do that weird comic book thing again. This is my least favourite of all the sort of mini-game type things. Okay. So, what have we got? Okay, so... stabby things. Alright, well, let's say... they must have switched by this point. So then... Mukuro dies. The body gets taken to the morgue. Removes the body. Puts the mask on. Goes all stabby on me. To make, you know, deliberately doesn't actually hurt me. And Kyoko interrupts and saves me? Yeah. Yeah, so that thing needs to go there, and that thing needs to go there. Takes off the mask. Then... we all find the body. Jill tries to remove the mask and the whole thing explodes. And that just leaves the burned remains?
Here's exactly what happened.
I'm not a fan of this, partially because half the time I can't tell exactly what the pictures are meant to be demonstrating.
We met the ultimate fashionista, Junko Enoshima, right after we all arrived here. But that wasn't the real Junko.
So how exactly does the ultimate fashionista in the stupidly
The girl we saw
shirt,
before us
in the
was
stupidly
actually the
short
16th
skirt,
student who had taken Junko's place.
suddenly become this psychotic?
And that girl's name was Mukuro Ikusawa.
And had the resources to pull this crap off.
But it wasn't long before she died at the hands of Monokuma. In other words, the mastermind, Junko Enoshima.
Because that was before even the first case, wasn't it? That was the kill to prove everything was serious.
Her body was kept in a biolab, which had been converted into a morgue, until Junko decided to put her body to use. Junko dragged the body out of the biolab, using the tarp to carry her to the garden. She fabricated the murder to try and frame Kyoko, who'd proven to be one big thorn in her side. Meanwhile, she wanted us all to think Mukuro was still alive and hiding somewhere inside the school.
So she took the knife. Okay, so it's not quite that. So that's... Okay, so I think that's gotta be that. Maybe these two are the other way around? Because they're the only ones I really see
The
fitting.
killer is you! Meanwhile, she wanted us.
Yeah, so I know the knife is right. Okay, so that is right.
So she put on a mask and then attacked me.
Okay. That's what those two were
After making
indicating.
sure I'd gotten a good look at the mask, she left the room.
Yeah. Took the mask off,
Then
put
she
it on
put
the
the
body.
same mask on Mukuro's body. This was all to make us think the person who attacked me and the corpse were one and the same. She wanted us to believe the murder had only recently taken place. Finally, by strapping a bomb to the body, she was able to
And
destroy
the bomb was
any
clearly
remaining
one of the
evidence.
ones that are inside the Monokumas.
She needed to hide the body's true identity. She had to make sure we didn't find out it was actually the same person we'd met in the beginning. This is the truth behind Mukuro's murder. And the one who carried it all out is the true mastermind. The one controlling Monokuma. The real Junko Enoshima!
So, yes.
That's the whole story behind this incident. Well, what do you have to say to that?
Based on traditional mystery things, the correct response from the villain is a slow hand clap. Or in this case, a whole load of nothing.
Are you broken again?
As I suspect she's on her way.
You can't get out of this, so don't even try.
Come on! It's time you finally revealed yourself!
I'd say that Monokuma is offline because no one's controlled.
It's not like you're an endangered species or something. How long do you plan to keep hiding?
Give it up, Junko. The game's over.
Over?
Yeah.
Did you really think the story would end once we reached the climax of the case?
Well, I know for a fact there's only 6 chapters in this game, so yeah, that's kind of my
Wrong!
assumption.
There's still plenty more to go!
Oh god, am I ever going to get this Let's Play finished? Okay, I like her head bobble things. Okay, how exactly did she teleport there? Why is her skirt so short?
Waiting so very long for peasants like you to appear.
You have a crown and you are very, very British. You are the villain, so this I approve of.
If you swear your fealty to us, we will reward you with half of the entire world.
Loopy!
We've even drawn up the deed already. We will grant you honor, status, in some of our home cooking.
Can we please just dogpile her and start punching her repeatedly?
Have you made your choice? Will you serve under us?
No, you crazy wench.
Oh, did you think I was being serious? Sorry, I was just messing with you. It's been so long since I've had an audience. Even I'm not sure what kind of role I'm supposed to play.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. This is the mastermind? She's the real Junko Inoshima?
Anyway, looks like I've finally been set free. Having to play Monokuma all the time, day after day. It was like I was stuck in purgatory. Or like a slow suicide. I get bored so easy, you know?
Your face!
Huh? What about my face? What's wrong with my beautiful face? People have told me I'm cuter than 100 chihuahuas combined.
I feel like this isn't the first time I've seen you.
No. I do remember seeing her. I'm sure I've seen her somewhere. It was before I got to this school. Well, if it was before you got to the school, before the arrival?
I got it!
Okay. I don't
That's
really
right.
remember that, but...
It was before I ever came to this school. I remember seeing a magazine cover. And you were on it.
Yeah.
Wow, you have a pretty good memory. I guess that's why you've made it this far, huh?
Yep.
So I was right. Then what you told me in the main hall when this all began...
I've seen her on tons of magazine covers, but I feel like that doesn't quite match up to reality. Huh? Oh, you're talking about my cover photos and junk. Ah, well, of course. Totally photoshopped. Okay. I will give this game props for dropping in clues all over the damn place. Edited to hell and back with, like, computers and junk? Yeah, they aren't real.
Sometimes a little lie is necessary to keep things moving along. Wouldn't you agree?
I still maintain that isn't a skirt, that's a belt.
That explains why she didn't quite seem the same. Because she was a different person all along.
I'm me. And Mukuro is Mukuro. She tried her best. But there's just no way she could have passed as the ultimate fashionista. Two people can never become one as long as the walls of mind and body exist.
Is it just me or is her voice quite annoying because it's so damn emotionless?
Not even if they're
Which
twins.
I get is probably the point.
Twins!
Oh, I was right, they were twins.
I know. It's such a cliche, right? I'm almost embarrassed to admit it.
And yet you happily killed her.
So basically, Mukuro and I had your stereotypical twin relationship. The older sister, tough and proud. That was Mukuro. The younger sister, smart and cute. That was...
Me! Junko fucking Enoshima!
Thank you for finally showing some emotion, and now I'm creeped out again. And what is it with this artist and using tongues to indicate crazy?
And together, we were the Despair Sisters, aka the Ultimate Despair!
Okay, I actually kind of respect this voice actress because she's bouncing around between kind of high British, completely emotionless with no accent I can identify, and completely batshit. So, yeah, good work. Whatever your voice actress's name is, I have no idea. I'd have to look it up.
Whoa! She's a totally different person now!
Like I said, I get bored easy as hell! I even get fucking bored with myself! But if you're twins, why do you have different last names? Oh, that again? You have any idea how many times people ask me that shit? Maybe it's new to your dumb ass, but it bores me to tears. Answering the same questions over and over? Just make up whatever answer you want. I don't give a shit. The truth's fucking lame anyway.
But if she was your twin, that means you killed your own sister?
Yup.
And for reasons deeper and darker than the ocean. Ha! As if!
Well, I suppose I'd better explain.
And now she appears to have gone all teachery.
For my plan to work, someone had to be able to control the killing game from behind the scenes. The so-called mastermind had to operate Monokuma, keep an eye on everyone, things like that. But after looking at the situation, I determined it would be impossible for Mukuro to perform such duties. Because naturally, she turned out to be the letdown of the family, leaving me behind to run off and join some band of mercenaries. Such a disappointment. So, I decided to play the role of director and have her join the rest of you in your school life. I could have let her work alongside me, but she would have been useless to me that way. Besides, 15 students seemed like a solid number to start with. Of course, the fact that she was the ultimate soldier posed something of a problem. She had what I call the 3 atrocities: atrociously rank, atrociously filthy, atrociously repulsive. It was atrociously clear just how out of touch she was with the rest of society. Meanwhile, my ultimate fashionista status has an undeniable appeal that I didn't want to go to waste.
And that's why you switched identities?
Sadly, her inability to match my personality was even greater than I'd calculated.
So
It
when
was a
she
lost
lost it
cause.
and attacked the Monokuma, that's when you took the opportunity
She
to
was
take her
nothing
down.
more than a bit player, an extra, unworthy of lines. Being the utter disappointment that she was, anyone would have expected her to get killed off right away. Which is precisely why I killed her, to meet everyone's expectations.
That can't be your only reason, can it?
Remember, lunatics don't need reasons that make sense to anyone else. Themselves, certainly, but nobody else.
Well, no, of course not. I also did it to avoid becoming bored.
I've never been a stickler for following a plan to the letter, you know?
Stop doing that, it's getting creepy.
If I planned everything out and knew just what was gonna happen, that'd be so boring.
Seriously, that voice and those boobs do not go together.
So, I changed things just a bit and decided to use Mukuro to make a little point.
In other words, Mukuro's death was a one-sided, premeditated act of betrayal.
Well, I figured that out. I didn't think she volunteered to die
Just
for this
as I
plan.
suspected. When Mukuro was killed, she must have been as surprised as anybody else.
What? Huh? It wasn't supposed to... Why me?
So, you figured it out? Well, you're right. There's no way Mukuro could have pulled off such a convincing performance. But she did teach you all a very valuable lesson, don't you think?
How can you talk like that?
She's insane.
Sacrificed your own sister! How does that not even bother you?
What? I sacrificed her? That's what's got you so hot under the collar?
It's a bit weird.
Jeez, misunderstandings sure are scary. We were the ultimate despair, you know? So we never had any kind of hope or expectations. Nope, I felt despair as long as I can remember. Like I never should have been born at all. When I was born, I cried tears of total despair. So that's why for us, it's not a big deal whether we die or kill. We're just those kinds of people. We can do anything.
Yeah.
We've always been filled with despair. So when we do something, we go all the way and live without regret.
So you just murdered your own sister and didn't think anything of it?
Ooh, some psychologists could have a bloody field day analysing her.
That's not true at all. We were twins. How could I not be sad? That's why it gets me so excited.
Well, on that extremely disturbing note, I think that's a fine time to end this part, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next. And it feels like the next might be the last, but I'm not 100% certain. We'll see.